you want to strive towards the most effective way. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. Same thing with the kick. And the other side is some things you can't learn either from a book or from watching a video, because there are little tiny details that you're going to miss, and it really takes a trained eye or a trained instructor to spot what you specifically are doing, not necessarily what people do in general, to be able to get you to that next level. So you might watch a video and see a guy punching and moving it a lot and think, oh, he's just doing this, and then you're practicing this. Whereas an instructor might say, okay, you need to rotate your shoulders, right? There's also conditioning for your feet. If you were to do a front snap kick, you want to break with the ball of your feet. This is what's called the ball of your feet here. And you want to pull your toes back. Practice pulling your toes back so you hit with the ball of your feet and not with your toes, because if you strike something with the toes down, you're going to break those toes. But if you hit with the ball of your feet, it's a more solid hit and it's a more effective hit, and it won't injure you. So you want to hit with the ball of your feet. With what's called a roundhouse kick, your foot is going to go this way. For breaking with a roundhouse, most people, I recommend start breaking with the ball of your feet. So when you come in contact with the bag or your target, you should use the ball of your feet. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. That was kind of fast, but I'll roll in some slow motion footage of hitting with the ball of the feet. But it's less painful than using what's called the instep. And this is the instep. I've done breaks with both, but you need more conditioning if you're going to break with the instep. And for that, I recommend starting with kicking the bag with your instep and doing that a couple hundred times, throughout a week or so, and then work your way up to kicking an actual board with an instep. Here's a couple of kicks that I did where I broke boards with the instep of my foot. Now the last kick I'm going to describe is the side kick. And the side kick, you're actually making contact with this part of your foot. It's called the ridge. But most of the power is going to be in your heel. So when you kick, your foot should be slightly bent down or parallel to the horizon. And you're going to do most of your striking with the heel part of your foot. And if you're hitting a board, you want to put your heel a little bit as close to the center as possible, but a little bit obviously to the right if it was your right foot, and a little bit to the left if it was your left foot for maximum effectiveness. But for the most part, this is the kill zone right here. So I'll roll in some slow motion of that. Some of the things that I've learned in my own journey with martial arts, in that I learned to kick one way, right? Especially a roundhouse kick, and that's the way I practiced for a long time until my latest instructor said, "Hey, try this a little." He'd watch how I do it, and he's like, "Well, it's more effective if you do it like this." And it's just a little bit of detail, but it made a big difference. Just like with the turning your shoulder made a huge difference. So I'm going to focus in on the bottom half of me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, most beginners, when they start to do a roundhouse kick, they don't rotate the hips. It's unnatural, so they'll stay straight-footed and they'll try to kick, and you don't get a very powerful kick. It's more of an angle kick than a kick that comes around this way. And then as you get a little bit better, you're going to open up your foot so you can bring your hip around and do that kick. Right? I didn't do a very powerful kick, but I'm just demonstrating. Most beginners, to try to get their hips around, a lot of instructors will say, well, just move your foot out and then kick. Well, then it becomes one fluid motion, but that's good to help you get the muscle memory going, but it takes an instructor to really notice or know how to get you to the next level to have a more effective kick. So I'm going to do a kick that I was doing for a long time, and I thought I was doing pretty good until my instructor showed me. So here's my pre-improvement kick, right? So I'll turn my foot, and I'll just kind of, I'll kind of pivot on the ball of my foot, and then pivot this way. So I'll do that again. Now, if you notice, I'll pivot first and then kick. The little detail that takes a good kick to a great kick is that you want to hold your pivot. It's kind of like winding up a rubber band and then letting it go at the last minute. Is you want to stay flat-footed until the very end, and then you snap that foot around. So instead of pivot, kick, it's kick until the last minute, then pivot, and then that's like winding up the rubber band and letting it go. So I'm going to do first the unimproved kick and then the improved kick. All right, so that's the unimproved kick. Now the improved kick. A little subtle difference, but I can feel the power. So unimproved. One more time. Just to demonstrate, sometimes you can only go so far until you really get a professional to bring you to that next level. So that's all I got. Take it easy.
Good.